The Bride is a fresh take on The Bride of Frankenstein. All right. So essentially, a little over 100 years after the being created, Frankenstein's creature is lonely. So he finds a doctor in Chicago and asks her to make him a bride. And they dig up a dead corpse from a grave and bring her back to life. This woman has no memories of her previous life, and she's told that she's essentially the creature's bride. And they get off to a bit of a rough start, and then they sneak out of the house and end up at a club. They're having a great time, but outside of the club, someone tries raping the bride, and that doesn't sit well with Frankenstein's monster. They're calling him Frank or Frankenstein, and they do say, "Yes, I am the son of Frankenstein. That's my father's surname." So I know there's the difference of Frankenstein and the monster, but they call him Frank in this movie. All right? Anyways, people know Frankenstein because there's books and novels about him, but they don't know that he's real. But he is real in this world. They call it out really early in this movie. Anyways, the bride is almost getting raped in the alley, and Frankenstein fucking curb stomps the shit out of one of the guys and brutally attacks another one. And of course, people see this and they take pictures, and the two are now on the lam. They form a strong connection to one another, but unfortunately, they accidentally kill more people along the way, whether it's intentional or not intentional. They do this, leaving a big trail of dead bodies throughout the East Coast, essentially. And one thing leads to another, and the bride becomes this feminist revolutionary leader and icon for other women. And other women are dressing up and doing makeup like her and going out and fighting for women's rights with brutal, intense ways, not taking shit from men. This is a very female-powered film, which is really nice and refreshing. We don't get that very often. It's a very sexually charged film. And I was not expecting that one bit, but by golly, I hear they even cut out a lot of sex stuff because the studio thought it was a little too disturbing and intense. Oof, I can't imagine what that would have been. There's a lot of cool stuff in this movie, but let me tell you what pissed me off in this movie the most, all right? I'm not going to lie. This movie starts off in this weird other realm, death, black darkness, and you hear a lady talking, and she says, "I'm Mary Shelley. I wrote Frankenstein, and before I could do anything else, I died. I've been trapped in this hellish landscape, this unworldly realm, and I need to let this story out of me. I need to tell the world about this thing, blah, 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 bullshit, really chewing the scenery." And it annoyed me. And then they show Jessie Buckley's character, and you see Mary Shelley somehow takes over her body, and the two kind of come and go. It's like schizophrenia. You got the regular woman talking regular, and then you cut to this British accented, very sophisticated sounding other woman talking who's doesn't take shit from anyone, and the two are at odds with one another here and there, and it comes and goes throughout the movie, and they talk to each other, and I hated it. It was just a hot mess. I despise that portion, and that happened a lot throughout the movie, and I hated it whenever Mary Shelley popped up in frame or you heard her voiceover, because it took me out of this movie. We didn't need that. It was just a huge detractor in a big way to me, but I might be in a minority here. I don't know. That's just my take. And then there's some weird, like, meta things happening here. Some odd song and dance moments and scenes where Frank is watching something on the big screen because he loves movies and is a big movie enthusiast. And somehow he projects himself on screen, and it looks like other people see it too, but then it cuts back to what's regular on screen. And it's just weird and awkward and distracting because they don't fully set up the world perfectly and the rules of what's happening. Those are pretty much my two main problems with this movie, essentially. Now, what did I like about this movie, you might be wondering? There's a lot, dude, all right? First off, the cast is freaking phenomenal. Jessie Buckley is the bride, and she is just a tour de force actress. Like, she plays the duality of the character perfectly as the bride and Mary, and she is just killing it. And she's currently doing the award circuit for Hamnet because she gave a great performance last year in that film. And every time she's in something, she knocks it out of the park. And as Frankenstein, you got Kristen Bale. And at first, I didn't really buy him. He kind of looked like I don't know. He was given a Nick Cage type of performance at the beginning. He was kind of channeling that, but then it cut back and it just became earnest, and that became cool. But his look was odd. He kind of looked like he was a mixture of Ted Danson, kind of cosplaying as David Ayer's Joker. He had like scars and stuff, kind of like tattoos. It was weird, but you get used to it. It worked, but he was great. That man get lost in a role in a big bad way, especially in this movie. And then you have Annette Bening stealing the show whenever she's on screen. She's the doctor who helps Frankenstein's monster bring the bride to life, and it's beautiful what she does in this movie. And it's a family affair because this movie was done by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and she has Jake Gyllenhaal in here, and he plays an actor in these kind of movies that Frank watches, and Frank kind of is a giant fan of him. And it's interesting to see Jake Gyllenhaal as an actor doing like these song and dance style Fred Astaire things on the big screen in the movie that you're watching. It's kind of meta and interesting like that. And then you have Gyllenhaal's husband, Peter Sarsgaard, and he's playing this like detective, and he's like a really tortured soul, and we can get a vibe that he knows who Jessie Buckley is, and he feels bad about something, but we don't know what. And I'm sorry, I skipped the fact that in the opening, after Mary Shelley takes over the bride's body, the bride essentially dies by falling down some stairs, and it's pretty traumatic and a cool looking scene. Anyways, the cast is great. There's other familiar faces popping up here and there. Oh, Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz is great in this. She has this cool thing going on here. A lot of people are saying they didn't like her in this movie, but I thought she was really good and refreshing here. John Morago, Nagaro, I always say his name wrong. He's a familiar face. I'm trying to think of where you might know him from. I think he's in Past Lives. Overlord, I think. A couple of movies here and there. Materialist, he's a great actor in this. And then another guy who always kind of takes me by surprise because he's such a chameleon in so many things. Matthew Barhar, I think his name is. He was in Air. He was in a whole bunch of things. He has a distinguished look and voice, and he's great in this. The cast is killing it in this movie. It's great. They're all knocking it out of the park. The sets, the world is just so freaking cool looking. It's so vibrant and rich and dirty and alive and youthful and lived in. And I loved this world. The sets were so exquisite. Oh, they were freaking great to look at. The wardrobe was cool. The cinematography was cool. At first, I didn't really like what they were doing with the camera, but then it grew on me because there were some great moments in this movie. This movie was well directed. There's a lot of stellar scenes. It swings for the fences. There's some decent song and dance numbers in this movie, which kind of took me by surprise in this movie. Not necessary, but interesting to see nonetheless. But the practical effects in this movie, the scars and the way that these two dead bodies look and move, they are fan-freaking-tastic looking. And this movie is kind of like gory and intense. It's not super bloody and insane, but it's violent and just so freaking intense and in-your-face, pulse-pounding, action-packed. And this is Maggie Gyllenhaal's film, and I thought she just directed it, but she also wrote this. Which is kind of fantastic. I think this is her second film. I haven't seen her other film, but I know people love it. And I want more from her after seeing this. I'm kind of mixed on her as an actress, but as a director and writer, I dig what she's doing here, making wild movies and crazy swings. And I was shocked when I looked her up on IMDb after seeing this. She hasn't acted since 2020 or been in anything since 2020. So I think she's been developing this for the past 5 or 6 years, just focusing on writing and directing, which is kind of cool. Good on her. I'm happy. I want more from her. Like I said, this movie started off terribly and long and tedious, but then it grew on me over time, and I really enjoyed it. It's like Bonnie and Clyde meets The Bride of Frankenstein, essentially. I gotta say, it's funny that Warner Brothers put this up because this is everything and more that they essentially promised us with Joker Folie à Deux, like these two lost souls coming together with killing spree happening and song and dance numbers. It has all the elements of that, and it has the DP of that. The cinematography of that movie did this movie too, so it kind of shines through what he's doing here. But this was so much better than Joker Folie à Deux, in my opinion. I feel like you're either gonna love or hate this movie, and I get it. A lot of people hate this, but I really like this, and I'm happy that you checked out this review. Thank you. If you saw the movie, how'd you feel about it? Did you like it as much as I liked it, or did you hate it like most people? If you haven't seen it, are you going to see it? Let me know all of your thoughts, comments, and concerns about The Bride in the comments down below. And thank you for checking out this review. Please do yourself a favor and hit like and subscribe to stay in the loop, because I'm putting out daily videos right here on this platform. And if you happen to like entertainment podcasts, I have one. It's called Movie Toast, News and Reviews, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, and please stay toasty.